You are welcome here. You are welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bonnie Rose. It's good to see you all here this morning. And a special greeting to our folks on Facebook who are streaming with us, and also those on YouTube who will watch us later. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and we're so glad that you chose church this morning. So thanks for coming. And I'll pass the word over to Lonnie, our board president.
Good morning, everyone. Well, you know, every time I'm up here, I say this is a great day, but I'm telling you, this is a great day. Believe me. Our beautiful Jessica is back with her amazing harp. And if you haven't had the chance to witness this amazing young woman, you're in for a big treat. And we're going to follow that up with so many wonderful things like a talk, Bonnie. Okay, I heard it was going to be really good. No pressure.
Who'd you hear that from?
You know, I was down on the corner.
Oh, okay.
And there was a choice. Do I go
Yes.
right, left?
Okay.
I said, go over here.
Go to church. Okay,
Go to
good
church.
to know. Good to know. Yeah.
So we'll settle in for some fun. We're so glad that you joined us this morning.
And while you're up here, can I make a couple of quick announcements? First of all, I want to introduce Chris is playing, he's rehearsing his show. He's getting ready to do Cinderella down at the Thousand Oaks Civic Theater. So, yeah, good call. And so we have Fern, who is filling in for Chris. She's wonderful. That's Fern. And also our beloved brother Kenny Hobbs is still not feeling well, and I know a lot of you sent cards to him, and we're getting ready to send those all off to him in bulk. But we have a temporary, ongoing new sound person, and her name is Maisie, and she's standing back there, and she's going to wave to you. Yay, Maisie! She's doing a great job, and we think she'll fit right in, right? Okay. So I think that's it. So let's go ahead, and you can sit down.
I can leave?
Okay, yes, you can leave. And then we're going to have Bill Hadris give us some words of wisdom.
Good morning. I'm Bill Hadris with Youth and Family. Do my helpers want to come down and help me? Come on, guys. Everybody can sit up here on the steps. You got it. Right here, Nico. Oh, come on. Thanks, Eva. Hey, Reverend. All right. All right. Everybody settled in? Good? All right. We all have creative spirit within us, seeking to express itself. We just have to try. Some people express through art, music, dancing, acting, athletics, caring, helping, designing, and many more ways. What are some ways you like to express? I guess. I think laughter's a good one. Do you have someone who you know believes in you? Hamsters? They always believe. Although all we really need is to believe in ourselves and be willing to try no matter what others think, it does feel good to have someone appreciate us. Do you ever let someone know you believe in them? You make sure you let those hamsters know you believe in them, right? Showing loving kindness to others is showing loving kindness to yourself. Also, when we truly celebrate who we are through joy, we become a beacon of light for others. We all have spiritual bank accounts. What do you think's in your spiritual bank account? Hamsters? Well, love is the currency. It has many forms like kindness, friendship, caring, sharing, honesty, and hamsters. Yeah. When we bring joy, we make deposits into our spiritual bank accounts. And with that, I'd like you all to repeat after me. Joy is my superpower. And so it is. Thank you. So God, I hold you in my arms. You are a part. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Now we're going to hear a word of prayer from our practitioner, Lita.
Good morning, everyone. Will the practitioners and ministers please stand? If it's comfortable, you can place your hands on your heart and close your eyes and turn your awareness within. So grateful to move into the sacred act of prayer, knowing that we are one with the oneness. This oneness that moves in, through, and as our lives, as our relationships, as our thoughts, as our feelings, as our inspirations, as our dreams. So grateful for this oneness informing us, inspiring us. So grateful to call forth this oneness as a blessing on this service today. Bonnie's message, Jessica's music, and the opportunity to be together, to share in that oneness that is love, that is light, that is truth, that is wisdom, that is wholeness. So I'm so grateful to know that everything that's happening today is blessing us in ways that we can see and ways that we can't see. And how grateful I am for this oneness that lives and moves and has its being as our lives. And with a heart that is full of joy and celebration, I release my word to the divine mystery. It is done, it is perfect, it is complete, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Lita. And so let us become even more centered, allowing the beautiful words of beautiful Lita to lead us to that sacred place in our hearts, the place where we flourish and thrive always, where we recognize oneness and wholeness, where we recognize the truth of our being. Let us sink into this beautiful, precious moment that we share together as we listen to the words of our sacred reading.
Only breath. The words of Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi. Not Christian or Jew or Muslim, not Hindu, Buddhist, Sufi, or Zen, not any religion or cultural system. I am not from the east or the west, not up out of the ocean or up from the ground, not natural or ethereal, not composed of elements at all. I do not exist. Am not an entity in this world or in the next. Did not descend from Adam and Eve or any origin story. My place is placeless, a trace of the traceless, neither body or soul. I belong to the beloved, have seen the two worlds as one, and that one I call to and know. First, last, outer, inner, only that breath-breathing human being. Amen.
And so let us continue to breathe deeply, only breath, the breath of the cosmos, the breath of the universe that informs us and outforms us as we sit here together in this sacred community We create this sacred center of energy that uplifts us and transforms us from the inside out and from the outside in. Here together, we recognize the name of Spirit, the name of Spirit, the name of God, the name of love, that some of us call I Am. And so we know that I Am belongs to the beloved. I Am is the beloved. Love, lover, and beloved. Ishkala, Ishkala, Mabud Lila. And so we just trust that that beautiful, beautiful presence is alive and thriving within us. And it becomes so immersed within us and so vivacious within us that we just have to sing about it. That it pours through us. And as it pours through us, it pours through us. It pours through us, it pours to us, and it pours to every single person in this room, because truly there is only one of us. And this I Am presence extends beyond the boundaries of this sacred sanctuary and embraces the entire cosmos. Together we sing, I am remembering who I am. From the love and the light of the pure Spirit presence within me, within each of us, within the cosmos. Let us be the presence that can see it, be it, live it, and love it. And let us know this as we breathe in deeply, and then gently open our eyes as love, in love with what is, as it is, and so it is. Namaste.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Jessica, and I'm back again with my harp here. And I'd like to share a little bit about this song that I'm about to do. I was told today's theme is about, balancing difficult situations with optimism and hope. And so this song came to mind. It's called Home. It's going to be okay. Hold on to me as we go, as we roll down this unfamiliar road. Although the weight is stringing us along, just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Settle down. It'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons that fill you with fear. The trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons that fill you with fear. Oh, the trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. Gonna make this place your home. Hold on to me as we go, as we roll down this unfamiliar road. Although the way is streaming us along, just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons that fill you with fear. Oh, the trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Well, I'm emotional. Oh, Jessica, so beautiful. Thank you. Hey, have you ever played The Fantastics? That show? So the Fantastics is a beautiful show. It's got my favorite line ever from musical theater, but there's a harp in it. It's orchestrated with harp, piano, and drums, maybe percussion. I can't remember. But anyway, my favorite line in musical theater is, all of musical theater, by the way, is without a hurt, the heart is hollow. And we saw your heart up here, baby. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so now to something extremely serious. My talk title is When Your Glasses Need Glasses. Now that is the same breed as one of my dogs, but it is not one of my dogs because one of my dogs would never stand for that. Never. Never. That's my dog. They're dressed as a nun, and she barely tolerated that, okay? So I may be having a little trouble with positioning here, so if you're having trouble seeing either the slides or whatever, just feel free to move about the building, okay? All right. So when your glasses need glasses, that came to me in the middle of the night, and I wrote it down like it meant something. And then when it came time yesterday to write the talk, I was like, what? What does that mean? But what I think it means is, first of all, it's a tangled hierarchy, which is one of my favorite things. That's an Escher picture, and some people refer to that as a tangled hierarchy, which is a strange loop where one hand is drawing the other, and you don't know which hand is drawing which, and probably both of them are drawing each other. But it's also, I read a play once where there was somebody's guardian angel had a big part in the play, but then guess what? The guardian angel had a guardian angel. And then that guardian angel had a guardian angel. And I think about that when I think about the divine, God, love, whatever it is. Who is God's God? Does God's God have a God? We could go into infinity for this, and I think that's part of why I like this talk title, When Your Glasses Need Glasses. I'm sure this is making complete sense to everybody right now. It will in a moment, I promise, okay? So what I think it means is that, so many times, and particularly in this denomination, we are often taught the power of optimism. And the power of optimism is a great thing, Never allow yourself the luxury of a negative thought, right? And we're all taught to be optimistic all the time. And life is perception and projection, so that does make a lot of sense. If we are thinking positively, we will most likely see positive things surrounding us, right? And then there are times when the rose-colored glasses don't seem to work very well. You're thinking positively about everything and nothing changes. Nothing changes. The same old problems, whether they're inner problems or outer problems, they still seem to stick to us like glue, right? And you're like, what's wrong with these glasses? Come on, rose-colored glasses. Get it together. Yes. Amen. When rose-colored glasses no longer serve us, sometimes it means that there is something deeper to be revealed. Okay? So what could that be? Well, so folks, of those of you who have not been around lately, I wrote this little book called Dances with Dogs. It's a shocking expose of the inner life of a minister. Let's call her Reverend Connie, or Reverend Bonnie, rather. Reverend Connie Daffodil, or Reverend Bonnie Rose, okay? And I'm talking, it's the featured book for this month, so I'm talking about it for a few more Sundays. And this Sunday I decided to talk about, this is the hardest part to talk about, well, the second hardest part to talk about, but my early days at the church as the senior minister of this church. I came here almost 20 years ago, and when I first came, it was quite challenging, as some of you know. Many of you have heard this story before, but we will just go over it again so that it may serve all of us deeper. It was quite challenging. For one thing, people were devoted to the former minister, and when I came, I was sort of like a pale replacement. I was the understudy, okay? I was the understudy for quite a while, and people really tried to be warm and welcoming, but I had a very different personality than the former minister, and sometimes people didn't quite understand me. I have, as you may know, you may have noticed I have sort of a mystical bent with also some comedy, which sometimes borders on what are you laughing at down there? Which sometimes borders on the land of inappropriate, okay? So there's that. And so I felt so completely rejected. It's like such an outcast, and like I would never fit in. And I had all of this authenticity, all of this whimsy, all of this reverence, all of this mystical bent to me. And I just thought to myself, how can I possibly ever survive in this church? Should I sacrifice who I am? Should I become inauthentic in order to sacrifice? Back then, in the old days, I shared this recently, but again, have any of you ever read Stephen King's The Children of the Corn? Right? Yeah. You know what it's about, right? It's about these children of the corn. It's so mortifying. They want to reject the new people. And so I used to call the church, not the children of the corn, but I used to call it the church of the corn. And let me be really clear, it wasn't about the church, it was about me. And it was about me because I was looking at everything through the lens of unexamined shame and unexamined fear of rejection and unexamined insecurity. So if you're feeling guilty about the way you treated me when I first came here, Law, or whoever. No, that was totally tongue-in-cheek, okay? It was all about me. Remember, you guys, how do you describe religious science, our denomination, in 3 words or less? Who knows the answer? No. Close. It's your fault, or it's my fault, okay? It was my fault that I was experiencing the Church of the Corn because they were completely good people and there were some challenges, blah, 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 but I didn't handle it in a very appropriate manner. Perhaps some of you have experienced rejection or insecurity or fear or shame, and perhaps 1 or 2 of you also have not handled it in a way that really served the greater good. Anybody? Show of pinkies, please. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So, during the corn years, as I like to call them, I actually have a file in my computer called the corn years. It's a lot of stuff went down, folks. It was pretty bad. Anyway, during the corn years, one of my shames was that I took the job because of my dog, okay? And I continued to say to myself, who takes a church job because of their dog? Did Norman Vincent Peale do that? No. Did Martin Luther King do that? No. Did Billy Graham do that? No. Okay? Did the Buddha do that? Probably not. Okay? We don't know. So I was a little embarrassed about that. There was also this level of ineptitude that was going on with me. I did not know what I was doing. I remember when I first came here, I see you laughing back there. When I first came here, the board president said, okay, we've got the budget for the year. You need to approve it. And so I just looked at these papers and I said, I approve of you. I didn't know anything about a budget. You know, I didn't pay attention to that in ministerial school. I didn't want to be a minister. I wanted to be a chaplain, dang it. I wanted to be a chaplain, and then I wound up in this church because of my dog. What do you think about that? Okay, so, and as I said in the book, becoming a minister revealed a gaggle of unaddressed frailties. Now, that happens in everything. When we have to rise up and accept a new position in life, it often brings out our frailties, things that we have not wanted to address. And when these frailties rise up, do we want to address them? No. No, we don't. We want to pretend that they're not there, or we want to do some other coping strategies that I employed early on in my ministry here. One of them, oh, look at that. Oh, I was running in a church with scissors. That's what that is, okay. All right, running a church with scissors. Okay, so the standard response to failure, and what I employed vigorously in my early years here, was to prayerfully judge others. I would like to see, again, a show of pinkies if you have ever prayerfully judged others. Yeah. See, some people are not even doing pinkies anymore. We're getting so comfortable with us that some people are raising their whole hands, right? Yeah. The reason I do a show of pinkies is like if you're struggling, if you don't really want to admit it, you can just raise your pinky and nobody will see. Because, y'all are on television, right? So there's that. No, really, I'm the only one that they're taking pictures of as far as I know. Unless Brian goes hog wild with that camera someday. It could happen. But anyway, prayerfully, one of my standard responses to feeling like a failure was to prayerfully judge others, to think that there was something wrong with me, hence the name Church of the Corn. Wrong with them, rather, not me. Okay, so the other thing, a standard response to failure, is to make others responsible. I wouldn't have failed unless this person had done that. It's this person's fault. It's not my fault. It's this other person's fault. I can't do my job because people are getting in my way. Anybody else do that? Make others responsible for your own shortcomings? Yay. Okay, some people are raising 2 hands now. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the I am presence. Okay. All righty. The other thing that we do, though, I don't know if they do this in all denominations. This is the denomination I'm most familiar with, is to apply a spiritual sledgehammer. Okay? Has anyone here ever applied a spiritual sledgehammer? Okay. Let me explain what that is so a few more of you can raise your hands if you like. A spiritual sledgehammer says, I should be rising above this in a science of mind, in a spiritual manner, in a new thought metaphysical manner. Therefore, I will affirm. My church is huge. My life is perfect. Did I spit on you? I'm so sorry. Okay. I am perfect. There I go again. Perfect, whole, and complete. You just about herniate a disc when you do affirmations that way. It's just not, it just doesn't work that way. So that's applying a spiritual sledgehammer. I have done that many a time. And then we slap the rose-colored glasses onto a situation that actually requires a different level of discernment. Okay, then. All right. Pretending it's something that it's not. Pretending that we can fix it with just a few affirmations. You know how that goes, right? Have you ever done a prayer? God, I absolutely know that you are all that is and that my life is perfect right now. Did it work? Right? Again, anybody? All right. That is a picture of someone slapping rose colored glasses onto a situation that recognizes requires a different type of discernment. Does anybody know who that is? Shout it out. Psycho. That's right, Janet Leigh in Psycho. There you go. I think that situation required a different type of discernment, don't you? All right, enough about Psycho. Okay. So when I realized that this was happening, when I was feeling like a failure, when I was feeling completely insecure, when I was feeling like nothing was going to work, when I was feeling like I was going to have to sacrifice my authenticity, which is this weird blend of mysticism and playfulness, when I was feeling that that was going to happen if I had to stay, that they would never accept me, that I would never accept them, that I would have to leave, I finally went into meditation and I just said, Divine Love, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I feel like I'm failing. What should I do? Stupid God. Befriend failure. Can we have a group? Gross. I didn't want to befriend failure. And remember that? That's why I went like that. Remember that expression back from the Valley Girl days? Like, gag me with a spoon? Oh my God. Right. That's how I felt about befriending failure. But at one point, I was out of options, so I felt like I had to do something. And it didn't start with fixing what was outside of me. It started with looking at what was within me and trying to work with that versus trying to rearrange the scenery so that I could have a more pleasing picture of what was going on, right? Why is befriending failure a good thing? I didn't want to do it. You may be asking yourself, why is befriending failure a good thing? Shouldn't we just push it aside and affirm success? Well, here's the thing. This is a quote from Brené Brown. And she wrote, if you put shame in a Petri dish, it needs 3 things to grow exponentially: secrecy, silence, and judgment. If you put the same amount of shame in a Petri dish and douse it with empathy, aka friendship, it can't survive. Shame cannot survive in the presence of empathy, aka friendship. But it does thrive on secrecy, silence, and judgment, and that's what I was doing. That's what a lot of us do. That's why we beat ourselves over the head with the spiritual sledgehammer. It's that secrecy, silence, and judgment, whereas an alternative is to douse whatever it is we're feeling, to see it, and to douse it with empathy and friendship. Gospel of Thomas saying number 22. I hope you're not getting sick of this, but it applies to almost everything. Here we go. When you make the two one, and when you make the inside as the outside, and the outside as the inside, and the upper as the lower, then shall you enter heaven on earth. That's a statement, a bold statement about oneness, about this paradox of opposites that are really all one. Heaven on earth. Earth in heaven. Another thing, this is the Gospel of Bonnie. When failure becomes success and success becomes failure and the two become one, then you will be humbled, exalted, empowered, and filled with a deep sense of abiding grace. Heaven on earth becomes you. Happiness becomes unconditional. That means that happiness doesn't depend on circumstances. An old story from the Course in Miracles that many of you have probably heard. Happiness is not circumstance dependent. We can be happy in any situation. Okay? Oh, that wasn't supposed to come up there. Dang it. Brian, can you fix my slide again and make my head go away so I can read what it said? I missed the timing on that. Here, everybody. Bless my beautiful slide wherever it may be. Ain't here. There. Gospel of Bonnie. When failure becomes success and success becomes failure and the two become one, then you will be humbled, exalted. Oh, that's the old one. Oh, it came up. Never mind. Okay. Talk about failure, right? I just messed up my slides. Okay. You're okay, Brian. Okay. When failure becomes success and success becomes failure, I guess we were supposed to read it again, and the two become one, then you will be humbled, exalted, empowered, and filled with a deep sense of abiding peace. Heaven on earth becomes you. Happiness becomes unconditional. Repeat after me. Heaven on earth becomes me. Happiness is unconditional. And the reason I had my big head on there with the dog cone on my head was that I thought I looked kind of like the Pope. So I thought it would give me a little more substance with that, right? There she is. That's all right. It's perfect. Peeking around the corner, just perfect. I love it. Okay. All righty. So, from Dances with Dogs, along the same theme. Dances with Dogs is the book that I wrote, okay? The conscious embrace of failure expands the heart into wholeness when we see beyond the illusion of opposites, such as success and failure. We discover the true self, the I am presence that we sing about every Sunday. We discover the true self abiding as an unfathomable allness that contains everything as one. The true self that contains both success and failure and all opposites as one. The true self rests as spaciousness and peace. It regards failure as an aspect of success, an aspect that has no power. In other words, failure has no power unless we invest it with meaning. Focusing on the true self in the face of perceived failure moves us from victim to unconditional, there's that word again, unconditional victor. And then just to back it up with a little Rumi, okay? This is from the sacred reading. That's supposed to be whirling like a dervish, but it made me a little queasy. Anybody else? Okay. Rumi wrote, "We do not exist," meaning I think that the separate self does not exist, or who we really are can't be contained in a name. And then he says, "We have seen the two worlds as one," right? When we make the inner like the outer, the lower like the higher, the above like the below. When we have seen the two worlds as the one, we belong to the beloved. We belong to unconditional joy. We belong to unconditional peace. We belong to unconditional happiness. We belong to the success that embraces both success and failure. We belong to wholeness. We belong to heaven on earth. We belong to the beloved. So how do we allow that to happen? You know, we're so ingrained just from our human brains of going into this pattern of fight or flight, freeze. There's another one. What? Fawn. Okay, I've heard of faint. How about fling? Right? All of these things, all of these F words that cause us to go into this place of that's not exactly productive for us. So how do we work with our responses, our reactions to shame or to insecurity or to failure? What do we do instead? How do we work, as Brene Brown said, with our judgment, silence, and secrecy? How do we put it into that new Petri dish where we can flood it with empathy and know that it can't survive? That shame, insecurity, fear can't survive empathy or friendship. One of the things is to throw out the stinking sledgehammer, okay? If we're straining to do affirmations, if we're straining to do prayers, if we're straining to do anything in terms of spiritual work, if we're meditating like this, then maybe just relax, okay? That means just relax and know that you are good and know that all is well and that whatever is arising up within you, whether it is insecurity, fear, shame, whatever, that is there for a higher purpose. It is not against you. It is there for you. It is there to draw us into our greater self. That's all it is it is a portal to something greater that is within us, okay? Put your clear glasses on. It's kind of what I just said. See it differently. See this thing rising up within you. See it differently. See it as not an enemy, but as a potential friend. And then tell the truth. Tell the truth with compassion and comedy. Say exactly what it is that you're feeling, but you don't have to attach to what it is that you're feeling. You can just say, "Oh, this thing is coming up again. Oh, look, I'm feeling insecure again. What is this about? Wow. I'm feeling fear again. What is this fear about? I'm feeling this sort of weird shame. What is this about? I thought I was done with that." Just seeing it anew, seeing it in a new light. And can we be lighthearted about what we think is wrong with us? This is from a movie. I'll have you guess it in a moment. Twice I took the name of the Lord in vain. Once I slept with the brother of my fiancé, and once I bounced a check at the liquor store, but that was really an accident. Moonstruck. Right. Share. Yeah. In class the other day, let's see if I'm there yet. Yeah. In class the other day, I had people tell each other, this is what I think is wrong with me. It was hilarious. Just had people talk to each other and just say, you know what I think is wrong with me? I'll do it now. You know what I think is wrong with me? I roll my eyes way too much. And God is mocking me because there is a man sitting in this third row that says, sorry, did I roll my eyes out loud? Thank you very much, John D. I roll my eyes way too much. I'm judgmental. I'm a hypocrite, people. I'm a hypocrite. I preach this stuff, and I really mean it when I'm saying it, and then, by the time I'm in my car, I'm doing something else. Anybody feel like turning to somebody near you and saying what you think is wrong with you? Go for it. Go, do it now. Do it now. What's wrong with me? What I think is wrong with me is blah, 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 blah. Are we complete? Those of you who are online, please feel free to add in the chat what you think is wrong with you, so we may all read it and you can share it with the entire internet. Isn't that super fun? Yeah. So you see how the energy in the room is when we're just being comical and when we're being lighthearted about the things that we've been told are wrong with us or the things that we've decided are wrong with us. It really is a decision, right? It really is a decision that I am a hypocrite sometimes, and I think that's bad, and I think that makes me an outcast because everybody's a hypocrite. Please raise your hand if you're not a hypocrite ever. Raise your hand if you're not a liar. Yeah. Ooh, sorry, Harp. So it just connects us in this weird way where we have permission to be okay with the things that we have once named flaws, and our flaws become our secrets, and our secrets thrive on shame and secrecy and all of that. But really, when we start to shed them into the light, we start bringing in that light that Brene Brown was talking about, that light of empathy, that light of compassion, that light of friendship, and most certainly what arises out of that is the light of comedy, the light of human comedy, the light of humor, which is human, okay? Some more truth. Why do I have Linda Dye's picture up here? What's her Linda Dye principle? We're all animals, right? We're all still animals. We talked about this last week, and we're all still animals. We all have this part of our brain that is dedicated to survival, that wants us to survive, and will do anything to get us to survive, all kinds of stuff. That's why we have fear. That's why we have shame. That's why we have insecurity, or we're just trying to survive, right? Okay, we're all still animals. We're all still a mess. Remember last week I had people turn to each other and say, you're a mess. Why don't you turn to somebody and say, you're still a mess? How's that? Isn't it fun that we can all be messy together, right? It's just so beautiful. The new lower standards, people. It's wonderful. We free ourselves from the bondage of perfectionism and move into a new version of perfection, which is inclusive of everything, right? That's the meaning of the word perfection. We talk about that a lot here. Perfection means inclusive of everything. So perfection includes what we think is right about ourselves and what we think is wrong about ourselves. And perfection, this new view of perfection, leads us to a place of greater humility, greater humor, greater love, greater compassion. Okay? We all think there's something wrong with us, but really what is wrong with us is what is right with us. Right? Again, like I said before, anything that we think is wrong with us is a portal. It is an opportunity. It is an opportunity to work on ourselves with compassion and with love and with great grace and with great healing, and to see what divine love can do through this thing once we stop beating ourselves up for it. See what divine love can do through this character trait or this personality trait or this functioning of our brain, whatever divine love can do through that. That is what will bring us greater and greater, dare I say, salvation. Salvation from the ego, salvation from the binary operating system, salvation from the pressures that we put upon ourselves to be perfect in a perfectionist way. That willingness to work on ourselves with great love and great compassion is what saves us. That's what keeps us, reminds us that we are whole, that we are perfect, and that we are complete, because the meaning of those words are not what we think they are. Whole includes brokenness. Wholeness includes brokenness. Perfect means inclusive of everything, and complete means evolving. At the level of mysticism, that is what those words mean. This exists for us, not against us, but for us. Okay? So, one of the ways that I transcended my desire to beat myself up for what was happening in my life at that time was I started examining the sources of my shame. That's in the book. You can read about it if you want to humiliate me. No, I mean if you, but it's in the book. But I found that saying kind of a standard science-a-mindy type affirmation like, I am no longer shameful, I am filled with the grace of spirit at all times, I couldn't start there. I couldn't start at, I am perfect just as I am. It's true, but I couldn't start there. I had to say, I am no longer ashamed of my shame. Now that's an unconventional affirmation, but I found that it works best for me if I start where I am, if I don't try and jump ahead to lifting a sledgehammer that I can't possibly lift and I can't possibly wield. I am no longer ashamed of my shame. That's how I started. And this is a quote from the book. When I was no longer ashamed of my shame, the shame didn't seem like my shame anymore. It felt like a small beam of light in the prism of the human condition. When I stopped empowering shame with personal ownership, it began to dissipate. I began to see that everybody was just like me, that we're all struggling to protect something that is perfectly imperfect or imperfectly perfect. You decide which it is. I think of Mother Teresa, who said that Christ appears to her in distressing disguises. That's how we are too, right? So we can broaden that application too. We can say, I am no longer ashamed of shame. You can decide whether you want to say my shame and own it or not. It's up to you. I am no longer ashamed of shame. I am no longer insecure about insecurities. I am no longer afraid of fear. And from, I think, Yogananda, fear is afraid of me, right? Fear dissipates in the light and the love of the divine. So the result of this is that we start feeling these things on a deep level. We start feeling humble. Being in a place of humility is a powerful place to be. We start feeling exalted. We start feeling empowered to be authentically ourselves, and that's where our true power comes from, the individual authentic expression of who we are. We start abiding in grace as a quality of grace. Our life becomes unconditional joy, and our life... What? My life is unconditional? Okay. And everybody's life becomes unconditional joy. So let's read those together, okay? I am humble. I am exalted. I am empowered. I abide in grace as grace. My life is unconditional joy. Our life is unconditional joy. That is the truth about you little stinkers, and I know it to be true. Absolutely true for each of us. And so let us just know that for ourselves, and let us say, and so it is together. So it is. And let us pray. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so let's turning within. Turning within, we can just trust and know that there is a power and a presence and a divine love that is absolutely present right here, right now, in this sacred room, in each and every one of us, in the entire cosmos, in every grain of sand, in every giant redwood, in the stars, in the sky, in the beaches. The whole of creation, beyond what we can even know, is this divine power and presence that is God. And this presence is wholeness. This presence is oneness. This presence is perfect. It is whole. It is complete. It is evolving. It is inclusive of everything. And so we unify with that presence right now. We feel it deep in our being. We feel it and trust who it is within us. Our unique and authentic expression of this universal principle. This is who we are. And so from this place, we have deep forgiveness. We have deep forgiveness for whatever we have thought once was wrong with us. We have deep forgiveness for our self-judgment, for our judgment of others, for our blame of others, for our self-blame. And we move into this place of perfect acceptance, a perfect place where we are unconditional, where the slings and arrows of life can no longer harm us. Because there is this place within us that is intact, that is pure, that is holy, that is unconditional, that is grace itself, that is humble, is exalted, It is all of these things and so much more. It is the power and the presence of the living God, the loving God, inclusive of everything as us in us. And so we take a moment to think about our lives and what our lives would look like if we really, really believed that, if we really embodied that, if we lived like that truth was really true. And so we start to cultivate a deeper knowing that this truth is true, that we truly are this all-inclusive embodiment of the one, that we are a blessing, and that everything blesses us. This beautiful Mobius reciprocity that happens in the universe all of the time, and that we can have it. We can have it right now as we surrender to it, as we open ourselves to receive it. And so we do receive it. And we say thanks for it. We give thanks for the transformation. We give thanks for our receptivity. We give thanks for the knowing of perfection as it moves through us in its unique and mystical ways. We give thanks for our authentic selves. And in this space of gratitude, in this space of beauty, I certainly give thanks for this teaching. I give thanks for the mystics. I give thanks for all paths to God. Churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, fundamentalists, atheists, agnostics, all of them, all of them. And with a heart that is so filled with gratitude, I say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, love. And I release these words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Namaste. Hello.
Thank you, Bonnie.
My pleasure.
I love that you mixed in fear and joy in that. And, you know, I was listening, but I'm always thinking, like, what am I going to say when I get up here for the offering? Sorry, it's all about me. And then you help me along.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Which is what we do in church.
That was my plan. Yeah.
Yes, we help each other. And, you know, I know I've spoke about offering for me was such a journey. First I started out, it was like obligatory. I can't believe I actually said that word. And then the more that I saw what was around me when I came into the church, it was like, then I saw it as an investment. It was an investment in my friends. It was an investment in Bonnie's beautiful messages of imperfection and that things were right just the way they are. And I know that that really spoke to me. It was an investment in our classes, in our snacks. It was just fun. And it was an opportunity to really examine my fear of what that meant in offering of myself or my finances or my consciousness. Like, what does that mean? And so this morning, in this beautiful space that we have, we're invested in you. We believe in you. And there's so many that stand before us that hold that high watch for you. So I just invite you to move from fear to joy, as Bonnie has spoken this morning, as we prepare our offering. And I invite you to place the offering over your heart and repeat after me. We trust in spirit.
We trust in spirit.
Love is a giver and receiver of all that we are.
Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are.
We offer this gift.
We offer this gift.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
Our gifts bless many.
Our gifts bless many.
And return to us multiplied in miraculous ways.
And return to us multiplied in miraculous ways.
So that we may give again.
So that we may give again.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Lonnie.
All right, so this next song here is a little bit different. It's just a reminder just to keep going, you know. So aside from being a musician, a performer, I'm also a music therapist. So that previous song, too, is also special to me because I remember the first time I met one of my half-sisters. I had a hard time connecting and thought I was doing something wrong, too, you know, betraying one parent. And the other parent was like, no, Jessica's a nice one. She's the one to talk to. And I'm like confused, but we connected over music. And that was one of the songs she taught me. And I'm like, oh, okay, like music is something that helps you connect. Art is something that helps you connect. And she became an artist, visual artist, and a product design. And a lot of my siblings, too, became artists. And I think it's just that feeling, too, that sensitivity. So as a music therapist, ways of helping yourself move forward, we have these three things. You got to vent about it, vent, validate, and move forward. So I say sometimes it's like constipation, Just because there's a buildup in there, your feelings can get constipated in there. If you don't let it out, what's going to happen? It's going to get stuck there, and just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not causing discomfort. And then what's the opposite of it? It all comes out. You explode, uncontrollable crying, or you lash out in anger. So I'm like, man, I got to feel my feelings, So you vent about it, validate, move forward, and music is something that helps me. So this one's a little bit different. This one's a rap, so it's called Impossible is Nothing. So here we go. Never quit until the clock stops, and never die out until your heart drops. Success will separate you from the have-nots, and have all of these haters at your neck like an ascot. You could do it too, young world. See, I remember being exactly like you, young girl. But wait, you could do it too, young man. See, you be fine as long as on your own too you stand. Keep on living, keep on breathing. Even if you don't believe it, keep on climbing, keep on reaching. Even if you don't believe it, impossible is nothing. Even if you don't believe it, impossible is nothing. Even if this world can't see it, gotta hate to not have it more than you love to obtain. That your future's around the corner, so close you can almost taste it. And it gets worse before it's better. That storm you gon' have to weather. Either be a busted pipe or a diamond due to this pressure. 25 hours, 8 days out the week. Focus, keep eyes open, victory never sleeps. My prayer for you is that you hit all them goals you trying to reach. I even hope at one point that you take it farther than me. Keep on living, keep on reaching. Even if you don't believe it, keep on climbing, keep on breathing. Even if this world can't see it, impossible is nothing. Even if this world can't see it, impossible is nothing. Even if you don't believe it, I shall never let them see me sweat. Promise to want for more until my very last breath. Promise to blaze a path and leave a trail for the next. And never sell out my soul for any number on a check. I shall never let them see me sweat. Promise to want for more until my very last breath. Promise to blaze a path and leave a trail for the next. Just promise me when I'm gone you won't forget. Keep on living, keep on breathing. Even if you don't believe it, keep on climbing, keep on reaching. Even if this world can't see it, impossible is nothing. Even if you don't believe it, impossible is nothing. Even if you don't believe it. Keep on living, keep on breathing. Even if you don't believe it, keep on climbing, keep on reaching. Even if you don't believe it, impossible is nothing. Even if you don't believe it, impossible is nothing. Even if this world can't see it, impossible is nothing.
Didn't Fern and Maisie do a good job today? Yeah. Thank you. All right. And so we just turn within and give thanks for this sacred time that we have spent together, just trusting and knowing it has all been good. It has fed us in ways that are beyond our knowing, and that we just trust the ripples that come from this sacred gathering. I'm so grateful for everyone that said yes to church this morning, that said yes to coming here, to lending their consciousness to this spiritual soup, for everybody has something to offer, and the service just wouldn't be the same without you. So I'm so glad that everybody came and that people are watching and that it's just growing into this magnificent, magnificent place where we truly are a center of love, where we aspire to be love, share love, and serve love always. And so with gratitude for that, with gratitude for the ongoing days and weeks until we meet again, let us just say thank you, Divine Beloved. Thank you, Spirit. And I release these words into the mystery, and together we say, and so it is. Namaste.